Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Too Far Gone Media. Today, I just want to show a little video. It's everything belongs to Joe Rogan on this one, and it has to do with him apologizing for his podcast. I don't believe that's right. I don't believe he should have to apologize at all. The professionals he brought on worked on the subject, and they have a different opinion over the consensus. So you shouldn't have to apologize because your opinion or the opinion of one of your guests on your shows triggers the nerves of sensitive people that want to believe and remain inside the box. I find it very simple. If you don't enjoy what you're experiencing, go somewhere else. Change the channel, watch a different movie, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. Our freedom of speech is being attacked right and left by these conglomerate elitists that just have to have control over absolutely everything. Censorship has gone way out of hand, and he's got a great example of how things that were taboo or heavily censored not long before are very different now, just several months later. And no further ado, guys. I really want you to. What he's gonna do here is so sad because he shouldn't have to, but watch it. It's Joe, man. He's got good stuff.
It's been going. Hello, friends. I wanted to make a video to address some of the controversy that's been going on over the past few days. And first of all, to say thank you to everyone that sent love and support. I truly, truly appreciate it. And it's been very nice to hear from you. I wanted to make this video, first of all, because I think there's a lot of people that have a distorted perception of what I do, maybe based on sound bites or based on headlines of articles that are disparaging. The podcast has been accused of spreading dangerous misinformation, specifically about two episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about two. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist, and he is the most published physician in his field in history. Dr. Robert Malone owns 9 patents on the creation of mRNA vaccine technology and is at least partially responsible for the creation of the technology that led to mRNA vaccines. Both these people are very highly credentialed, very intelligent, very accomplished people, and they have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative. I wanted to hear what their opinion is. I had them on, and because of that, those episodes in particular, those episodes were labeled as being dangerous. They had dangerous misinformation in them. The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact. Like, for instance, 8 months ago, if you said, if you get vaccinated, you can still catch COVID and you can still spread COVID, you would be removed from social media. They would ban you from certain platforms. Now, that's accepted as fact. If you said, I don't think cloth masks work, you would be banned from social media. Now, that's openly and repeatedly stated on CNN. If you said, I think it's possible that COVID-19 came from a lab, you'd be banned from many social media platforms. Now, that's on the cover of Newsweek. All of those theories that at one point in time were banned were openly discussed by those two men that I had on my podcast that have been accused of dangerous misinformation. I do not know if they're right. I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a person who sits down and talks to people and has conversations with them. Do I get things wrong? Absolutely, I get things wrong, but I try to correct them. Whenever I get something wrong, I try to correct it because I'm interested in telling the truth. I'm interested in finding out what the truth is. And I'm interested in having interesting conversations with people that have differing opinions. I'm not interested in only talking to people that have one perspective. That's one of the reasons why I had Sanjay Gupta on, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who I respect very much, and I really enjoyed our conversation together. He has a different opinion than those men do. I had Dr. Michael Osterholm on at the very beginning of the pandemic. He is on President Biden's COVID-19 advisory board. I had Dr. Peter Hotez on, who is a vaccine expert. I'm interested in finding out what is correct, and I'm also finding out how people come to these conclusions and what the facts are. Now, because of this controversy, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes with these controversies, but Neil Young has removed his music from the platform of Spotify, and Joni Mitchell, and apparently some other people want to as well. I'm very sorry that they feel that way. I most certainly don't want that. I'm a Neil Young fan. I've always been a Neil Young fan. I'll tell you a story at the end of this about that. One of the things that Spotify wants to do that I agree with is that at the beginning of these controversial podcasts, like specifically ones about COVID, is to put a disclaimer and say that you should speak with your physician, and that these people and the opinions that they express are contrary to the opinions of the consensus of experts, which I think is very important. Sure, have that on there. I'm very happy with that. Also, I think if there's anything that I've done that I could do better is have more experts with differing opinions right after I have the controversial ones. I would most certainly be open to doing that. And I would like to talk to some people that have differing opinions on those podcasts in the future. We'll see. I do all the scheduling myself, and I don't always get it right. These podcasts are very strange because they're just conversations. And oftentimes I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I sit down and talk to people. And that's why some of my ideas are not that prepared or fleshed out, because I'm literally having them in real time. But I do my best, and they're just conversations. And I think that's also the appeal of the show. It's one of the things that makes it interesting. So I want to thank Spotify for being so supportive during this time. And I'm very sorry that this is happening to them and that they're taking so much heat from it.
All right. Well, Well, there you go. That's Joe Rogan apologizing. Again, I don't believe he needed to. But because the world has gone so sensitive and just totally fucked up, that he just probably just felt it in himself to do it, because he sure doesn't need to. Nobody should have to apologize about anything when you're having an open conversation with different points of view. That's what it's all about. It's different points of view. Before I go any further, I just do want to mention there is a little bit more to this video. And Joe goes on with his Neil Young concert experience, which was very pleasant. You could see you could see it in his eyes and his smile. His memories of it were quite fond. I mean, everybody loves Neil Young music, at least a couple of his tunes, right? So anyways, to go with that, to think that some of these people that he's had on his show, one of the doctors was actually part of the creation of the medications inside the MSRA vaccines. So the vaccines that, are being forced upon us today. And you're going to tell me that this doctor, who is world-renowned and obviously at the top of his field, is not entitled to give his opinion to his experience and knowledge to the drug that we've all been forced to consume? Well, not all been forced, but a lot of us have been forced to keep our jobs and whatnot. Now, if that man has something to say, who is anybody to discredit anything he has to say? Sure, we can have other professionals, give their point of opinion and whatnot, but you can't discredit somebody who was there in the creation of the medication itself. It makes no sense at all. Now, what really grinds my gears on this one is Neil Young. What are his credentials? What is his PhD in? THC? This guy is one of the most miserable old-timers I've ever seen interviews on. This guy is so miserable, and somehow he makes kind of happy, good music, which is kind of weird. But maybe that's his escape as well, right? And then he falls back into reality, and that smile disappears. But I haven't seen Neil Young with a smile in like 15, 20 years or so. Now, we're talking about a man who gave up his Canadian citizenship to become American so he doesn't have to pay as much taxes. And as soon as he's given that piece of paper, he starts protesting against Biden. He spent 99% of his life as a Canadian, and yet he doesn't make any songs for us in the turmoils we're in with the battles that we're up against. You know what I mean? He's very... everything Neil Young has to do about Neil Young, and only about Neil Young, and about Neil Young, and about Neil Young. And it's been like that for a long time. I can't speak for when he was young, because at one point, he's still a great man. I mean, you can't take away a man's past due to his present nature, whatever it may be. But I mean, he is a top-notch artist, or at least used to be. And that's the big thing, is he used to be. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that close to heaven's doorstep and you start, pushing and prodding and moaning and whatnot to try to make some kind of a movement or, get people's attention. Like, the reality is, I'm sorry, Neil, but anybody of like 25 and younger, if you mention your name, you know what they think? Nothing, because they don't know anything about you. Like, you're the past. You're a has-been. You're gone. You did great things. You gave us great music. But your whole thing of fighting against people's right to freedom, like, what in the hell? I mean, what was the point of making Southern Man if it's okay to stop people from saying their opinion now today? I mean, back then, Southern Man was very controversial. What if everything having to do with you and your song were immediately shut down after that? Then what? What would you be today? Neil Nothing. Not Neil Young. There was a lad named Neil Young. Came out with a song, disappeared real quick after that. Think he works at Wendy's. Yeah, exactly, Neil. Like, exactly what you used to fight for. You just turned your back against it. These people are accredited professionals that you're pulling your music over. They've never lied to us for any reason. How often has your government told you the truth, Neil? How often has your new government told you the truth, Neil? When is the last time we've seen any kind of truth from any government in the past 15, 20 years? Neil? I'm sorry, I'm picking on you a little bit, but man, let Rogan go, buddy. If you want to keep your music, go ahead. You're going to die soon anyways. Your stuff ain't going to be worth crap. And people 65 and over, they'll listen to it for another 10, 15 years, and then Neil Young will never have existed. Except for what little bits and pieces of paper, and hopefully you have a star on the walkway, because you sure as fuck deserve one. I mean, Neil fucking Young. Shit, man. What the hell, man? You used to stand up for causes. What happened to you? Anyways, this is Mark for Too Far Gone Media. Really glad you guys joined us today, and yeah, let's keep it real, people. Let's keep fighting for our rights, man. Well, what happened to freedom of speech? I mean, damn it, people. We can't let the consensus only be that of the elite, because all they care about is taking all their monies away and making as many of us homeless as possible. And more importantly, their main goal is to keep us divided. See in Canada what's happening right now? Everybody uniting together. That's how you do it, people. Stand side by side. Stand side by side, believe in what you're fighting for. When I'm saying fight, I don't necessarily mean with violence. You all know what I mean. Mark for Too Far Gone. Love you guys. Stay sexy, Canada.